Hello, everybody, and welcome to another cup of self-empowerment to trust, heal, and be thyself. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome someone who's in the same country as me at the moment, and this is Marysol. Marysol's here in Germany with me, and welcome, Marysol. It's lovely to have you here.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. And for those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting Marysol yet, Marysol is an intuitive sound and energy healer and a singer, actress, performer, having worked at theatres for over 20 years. Guided by the spirit world, she channels light language, which is healing light language, healing information, vibration, and light codes, and brings it into effect by singing sound and light language intuitively. She offers sound and energy healing sessions, spiritual voice lessons, house clearings, and online events such as a guided cosmic inner journeys combined with sound healing transmissions worldwide online. She also offers a monthly healing circle for women online called the Sacred Goddess Circle. She leads group meditations for personal and planetary healing and creates music for the soul, guided meditations, and personalized sound healing recordings. Wow, that just sounds beautiful. So, it says here that you're an actress and a singer and a performer, and now you're an intuitive sound and energy healer. That's just amazing. So, how did this all unfold? How did this path, I would say, of stepping into, trusting the energy work, how did it unfold for you?
Well, it was a long path, definitely. So it was always my dream to be on stage, and I did that from an early age on. I studied singing, dancing, and acting in Berlin at the University of Arts when I was 17, almost 18. And it would be a very long story, so I'll try to make it short. But
No,
I was
that's fine. We're really interested
okay.
to hear, definitely.
So it's like the part that led to all of this. And I had basically my dream life back then,
Hmm.
but I was battling with severe depression.
Oh,
So I was doing fabulous on the outside and
yeah,
not so fabulous on the inside.
yeah.
And I felt really guilty about it because I had such a good life, good family. I was able to do what I dreamed of doing.
Hmm.
And I had such inner pain, like existing was too painful.
Oh, wow.
Just that, like, I don't want to be here. Why am I here? They dropped me off on the wrong planet, like that
Okay.
feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't know why I felt that way. And so I went to many therapists, and I'm sure there are good ones out there. I mean, I'm sure of that. But the ones that I ended up with couldn't really help me. It was
Yeah, I
all
can
very
understand that. Yeah.
on the 3D analytical level.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, so they didn't really know what to do with me. And then I met people that work in the field of consciousness and healing. And that started to really open doors. And I started to understand what was going on with me because I was always really sensitive and
Mm,
felt so much. And it can be a blessing and a curse. And it becomes a
definitely.
blessing when you understand it and when you learn how to use it as a gift. But I didn't
And
know
to
that.
manage it for yourself as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that like sparked the path of my healing journey. And then I was on stage main time, like that was my main job for many years. And at some point, I realized I also wanted to work with people. So I started taking courses in different areas. And then years later, I started giving people at theaters sessions when I did a show, like
Oh,
during
wow.
rehearsal time. If someone found out what I was also doing and they wanted a session, I would start in that way.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant.
yeah, and then a few years ago, I swapped it around. I made this my main path, the healing arts, let's call them that.
Wonderful.
And yeah, and so because I've always been singing and it's my passion to sing, I brought that into this world and used
Brilliant.
the sound for the healing now. So that's how it kind of all came together.
Wow. So, that was this trust in it and like, finding your own path and following obviously those intuitive nudges for yourself, because obviously if you were being kind of pushed down towards the analytical way, which wasn't helping, obviously, as you say, it does serve and help others, but
Yeah,
we're not all the same. Some of us
yeah.
need something else. And for you to know that, something was off with you, but you're not understanding, that must have been a really frustrating feeling to have to know, you've got this wonderful life. You feel
Mhm.
incredibly blessed, but this joy within yourself wasn't there. So for you to be probably intuitively led to these people who are interested in consciousness and the healing arts is your soul obviously guiding you forward on your journey, which has then just made it like spin it around completely. So you can just be really present and joyful here and now, which is great.
Yeah, I definitely
Yes.
had a lot of guidance there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there was a lot of healing what went on for you as well during that process. So, how did you really start learning to like heal yourself? Because you obviously are helping others on their healing journey. Um, how were you helping yourself, or how were you, what kind of healing modalities did you experience to help you to feel better in yourself and to kind of twist it around, turn it around for you?
Well, of course, that's a whole journey, that always continues. I mean, we
Definitely.
all go deeper and deeper into
Yeah.
deeper levels. I met a woman in Berlin back then. She does incredible soul journeys and she takes you
Hmm.
back to your childhood and other lifetimes. And we
Wow.
uncovered a lot of stuff and things just started falling into place and it made so much sense.
Okay.
I did workshops with quantum healing
Yeah.
and I started meditating more and really building that connection to the spirit world and
Hmm.
trusting that and allowing more guidance to come in.
Yeah.
And I think a huge part of it all is the relationship that we have to ourself, because
Definitely.
I was someone, I still have it sometimes, but by far not as much as back then. I would like beat myself up, like being a complete perfectionist.
Oh, I get that. I understand
So
that very well. Yeah.
that's a big part of the healing journey where at some point I said, I have so much love and compassion for others.
Yeah.
Why don't I have that for myself?
Yes.
Like, why do I treat myself that way? And that
Hmm.
was a very crucial point to move more into not only accepting, but loving myself, and not in an egotistical way, but
Yeah.
in the soul spirit way.
And that's really
Having,
hard when you're a perfectionist to actually
yeah,
twist it around from that angle, from like, because you actually think, oh, I'm being selfish. And to change that mindset, that
mhm,
takes a lot of work. And that's hard
yeah,
for perfectionists because I understand that very
yeah.
well. Yeah.
So I still have that perfectionist thing
Yeah.
going, but I can laugh about it more and I can take
Yeah.
a step back quicker and laugh about myself and go
Yeah.
more easy on myself. And
Hmm.
so I've definitely softened up with that a lot. And that's been a big part of the healing journey, definitely.
I
Yeah.
can quite imagine, most definitely can really relate to that. And I think a lot of people can. We really, as you say, this love we have for other people is just massive. And
Yeah.
then you're like, okay. And then the way we talk to ourselves as well is, obviously we're very self-critical at times and
Mhm.
have sky high expectations. And if we don't reach them, like, oh, then we're rubbish. But we're not. It's just
Yeah.
like having that compassion for ourselves and having that compassion for ourselves, which we actually always give to other people. So,
Mm.
and that's like having to, reprogram that muscle in yourself, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, what was the moment for you? Because you said for the last 3 years you've been doing this work as kind of your main
Mhm.
your main vocation now. What was the point when you said to yourself, "Okay, I'm okay being seen as I am. I'm ready to share and shine my light." Because I always find for a lot of us, it's hard to get out of that spiritual closet. And I don't know
Mhm.
if you're in that place at all. And yeah, what was the moment? Where was that moment when you said, okay, I'm going to do this? This is
Mhm.
who I am.
Yeah, that was an interesting process as well. I mean, for me, my like if you would call it awakening was gradual. So for some
Yeah.
people it just hits. That wasn't
Yeah.
me. So I've never been silent about my spirituality, but it wasn't like in the spotlight, as I
Okay.
am now, like on social media and doing this work so openly. So when the madness hit a few years ago, let's put it that way,
Yeah.
actually just before that, I had the feeling that I'm being called to do this more and more. And
Hmm.
I said, I will take a theater break and I want to see how I can bring this healing work into the world more and what I do.
Oh, perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. And
Yes.
then, so the madness hit and all the theaters closed. And I was like, oh,
Gosh, yes, of
okay, this is
course. They
actually
would have,
really good
yeah.
timing.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do a lot online now. Um, and that's how that started. And that was the point, coming to your question. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to go all out with this. This means I'm going to be on social media with what I do, with
Yeah.
light
And that's
language
scary
singing, with
sometimes.
speaking about star beings. And I knew that people who had been following me for my theater work or people that I was connected to on social media through my theater work, that they were going to think I've lost it and that I'm just crazy. And I said, I don't care because I do what I do with love and respect. And if somebody resonates with it, great. And if someone doesn't, then they don't. So I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I'm just
Mm,
offering what I have to offer. And
yeah.
if you like it, great. And if not, also great. So I'm not forcing anyone to
Well,
work
that's
with.
a brilliant
And
mindset to
that's where
have
I
as
said,
well.
so I want to be free of what people think of me. I mean, I've been different all my life, I've always been kind of the weird one, but I've embraced that.
Imagine
And
that. I can't
yeah,
imagine you being the weird one at all. Not at all.
well, in the 3D world.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
so no, I said, I just want to be who I am, and that's how I want to step out into the world. And I think that's when life opens doors, when you have the courage to do that. So, but that
yeah.
was an important point for me to do that. Yeah.
And what would you recommend to anyone who's maybe at that crossroads in themselves? How would you like to encourage them to place that faith within themselves and maybe take that step? And, obviously we're not saying, drop the day job and just run out there and do that. Obviously everyone has financial needs which need to be met.
Mhm.
We live on this planet. We have
Yeah.
human needs which we have to cover. We have families and stuff which we have to feed ourselves as well.
Mhm.
Roof over our head. We have those luxuries what we
Yeah.
have to pay for. So how would you encourage someone, or what advice would you like to share with anyone watching this today if they feel that at their crossroads, they're coming to that point?
Mm.
How should they move forward with that?
Well, I think by really being true to who you are,
Hmm.
not apologizing for who you are,
Yeah,
and trusting that there is a way. Like you said, it doesn't have to mean quit your job today, do this tomorrow. For
yeah,
someone, that might be the way, but for someone else, it might be a transitioning of
yeah.
sorts. So there
Hmm.
are many ways to do it. But I think dropping the fear of what others think of you is a big thing.
That's
Because
huge.
yeah, because if you're not afraid of what others think of you, I always say what others think of me is none of my business. They're going to make up their mind anyway.
True.
So there's
Yeah,
nothing I can do about that.
that's very
So
true.
if you free yourself from that and allow yourself to step out into the world with the gifts that you have to offer, then
Hmm.
life will become easier because we all come here with a purpose, with a mission, with however you want to call it.
Yeah,
So the more we allow ourselves to embrace that and step into that, whatever that may mean then personally and how that path may unfold.
yeah.
But I think that's very important to step into that fearlessness in a sense and have that courage.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's courage, isn't it,
Yeah,
really? And it
yeah,
is for someone who's been a people pleaser or who's had weak energetic boundaries or, you know, has had that maybe as a child, had that, you'll be seen and not heard or vice
mhm,
versa. It's a huge step to make to do
yeah,
something like that. And, social media is vast. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
it's so big, and it is a courageous act to actually stand out there and show up for humanity at the end of the day. At
yeah,
the end of the day, you're serving yourself, and by serving yourself, not in an egoistic ways, you're actually sharing your gifts or
hmm,
your way of being, which might be that inspiration or that healing or that guidance that someone who you have no idea who they are actually benefits from. So you
yeah,
don't actually know how big those ripples are,
mhm,
and they might even be waves before we know
yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. And to,
Yeah.
go easy on yourself. You don't have to do it all from one day to the next.
Yeah,
Like you
which is
say,
hard for a perfectionist because they want to get it all done.
of course, but like what you just described, if you have issues like that of not being seen and heard, and it's really difficult for you to step out,
Yeah.
I think to just take it at your own pace and take those, take step after step
Hmm.
and
And
always
really
pushing
tune into
yourself.
your own intuition as well.
Yes,
It is
yes,
guiding you, and we tend to numb it out, but just, your gut is going to tell you as well if it's aligned or not too. So
yeah, yeah,
it's kind of,
listening to yourself and always getting yourself out a little bit out of your comfort zone, but kind of take it at your pace, always a little
yeah,
bit more. Yeah.
that's brilliant. Oh, so obviously there's going to be some viewers today who are really curious to hear your light language or to experience what you do. How can people reach out to you? Or how
Well,
can they experience your work?
so I have a YouTube channel. It's called Marysol, so like my first name, and then the magical sound of your soul. And there are guided meditations and sound healings that you can listen to for free.
Hmm.
And you can also go to my website. It's marysol.vision. There's all the information. And I do a live event every month where I sing intuitively and take everyone on a cosmic journey. And that
Oh,
all happens in the
that sounds
moment.
great. Oh,
So I do
really
that
lovely.
monthly, and you can find everything on my website.
Okay. We've spoken about light language before we close off. For someone who's thinking, what is that? Can you
Mhm.
maybe explain what light language is?
Yes, well, I think the easiest way to explain it is it's a cosmic language that we receive through the heart, and it speaks to the soul. So it bypasses our linear thinking mind because the mind doesn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes, what is that? So it goes past the mind and is received on a vibrational level. So different channels will express it differently, of course. So it's unique to every channel.
Hmm.
I sing it. Sometimes I speak it. There are people who sign it with beautiful
Yes,
movements of the
yeah,
hands.
it
I
looks
do it
lovely as
sometimes when I
well. Hmm.
sing, but it's like a thing that just flows with the singing.
Hmm.
You can draw it, write it. There are so many ways.
Yeah,
And
there's
for
people who
me,
do paintings. I've seen
yeah,
paintings of
beautiful
it as well. It's
paintings. Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah.
So it's like a container for vibration. Like when I sing, if I have a session with someone one on one, and I
Hmm.
always sing intuitively, I'll receive the frequencies and vibrations and codes that serve that person in the moment,
Hmm.
or the group if it's a group event.
Yeah.
And so it's like the singing and the light language is being filled and then transported into that person or the group, into their being, um,
Mm.
onto the cellular level and all levels of their
Wow.
being, so that
And
it
I
can
suppose
vibrate.
it, I suppose in that way, every person it gets exactly what they need to receive.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe not all the codes are for everybody. Maybe some codes are for, if it's a group event, surely maybe some codes are for some people and maybe not for others. So it probably just kind of finds its own way, I guess, right?
Yeah, and especially for a group, because I'm tuned into the group field, so I
Yeah.
will receive what is meant to go into that group field, and
Yeah.
then everyone receives it on the level that they're meant to in that moment. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds beautiful. And you have these monthly events, so we'll jot that
Yes.
down when we send this out as well to make sure that everyone knows how to get hold of you. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much for your time today. It's been absolutely lovely chatting to you. And yeah, definitely check out Marysol's YouTube channel and tap into her experiences, her meditations, and really her light language is incredible. So
Thank you.
it's very, very, and as you say, it's beautiful because you said like light language comes from the heart. It
Hmm.
is very, you really feel when you're listening to your light language that it is coming from the heart space, definitely. So that's just,
That's good to hear. Thank
yeah,
you.
no, it's the truth. So, I think it's important that everyone who's watching this today also realizes that it's going to be very heart activating as well when you listen to that too. So,
And that's the great thing about this work. Like you can just drop all perfectionism because you have to step out of the way to receive. So
it's
that's
true.
been so healing for me to just get out of the way and just serve as that channel. And that's been really healing.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
agree to that. I can really relate to that very much. Oh, well, thank you so much. And yes, it's been absolutely a pleasure to have you on here today. We'll have to have you back on again soon. Maybe next
I'd
time
love
we
to.
can do that and singing. Maybe we could do a singing on or something one time soon.
Yes.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah, lovely chatting with you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's been great. And for everyone else, thank you for tuning in to us today. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you are in the world. And I look forward to welcoming you to another cup of self-empowerment in the near future. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye, and thank you.
Bye.